Summer, 1518. Strasbourg is suffocating. Not from smoke, not from war, but from heat, hunger, and something invisible crawling beneath the skin of the city. The sun hangs over the rooftops like a weight. The cobblestones burn. The air is thick with sweat, stale grain, and quiet desperation. This is not a thriving medieval city. This is a place barely holding itself together. For years, harvests have failed. Winters have been brutal. Bread has grown expensive. The poor have grown thinner. The Black Death may not be raging at this exact moment, but its shadow never left. Every cough still turns heads. Every fever still feels like a sentence. People are tired, not just physically, spiritually, emotionally. They pray more. They fear more. They whisper about divine punishment. In a world without modern medicine, without psychology, without scientific frameworks, suffering must mean something. And then she steps outside. Frau Trophäa. History barely remembers her, but that morning, history belongs to her. She walks into the street, stops, and begins to dance. No musicians, no festival, no reason, just movement. Slow at first, almost awkward, as if her body is testing itself. Then faster. Her feet strike stone, her arms jerk, her head tilts back, her body twists in unnatural rhythms. She is not smiling, she is not celebrating. She looks trapped inside her own skin. People gather. Some laugh nervously, others shake their heads, a few stare too long. Hours pass. She doesn't stop. The sun climbs higher. Sweat soaks her clothes. Her breathing grows sharp and ragged, but still she moves. That night, she is still dancing. The next morning, still dancing. Over the rooftops like a weight. The cobblestone, perfect. We're going. Air is thick with sweat, stale grain, and quiet desperation. This is not a thriving medieval city. This is a place bare. And this is when curiosity turns into fear. Because someone else joins her. A man who had been watching from the edge of the street suddenly begins to tremble. His foot taps involuntarily. His legs begin to move. His body follows. He cannot stop. Then a woman. Then two more. Within days, the city is no longer witnessing a spectacle. It is witnessing an outbreak. Dozens now fill the streets. They spin, stagger, collapse, rise again. Their movements are erratic, violent, exhausting. They scream, they cry. Some look vacant, as if they've left their own bodies behind. Blisters form, skin tears, blood marks the stones. Still, they dance. Reports vary. 30 dancers, 50, 100, possibly as many as 400 at the height of the madness. And then the deaths begin. One dancer collapses mid-motion. He does not get back up. Another dies 2 days later. Heat stroke, heart failure, complete physical exhaustion. These are not healthy bodies. These are famine-worn bodies, underfed, weak, pushed past every limit. And yet the compulsion continues. Strasbourg is now gripped by terror. People whisper about Saint Vitus, the patron saint who, according to local belief, could curse sinners with uncontrollable dancing. This is not a random idea. Similar dancing epidemics had been recorded in parts of Europe before. The concept already existed in the cultural imagination. So when bodies begin to move uncontrollably, the explanation is ready. This is divine punishment. And fear spreads faster than the dancing itself. The city council convenes. Physicians are summoned. They observe the dancers closely. They touch overheated skin. They discuss humoral theory, the belief that the body is governed by 4 fluids: blood, phlegm, yellow bile, black bile. Their conclusion? Excess heat in the blood. The cure? More dancing. Yes, in one of the most shocking decisions in medical history, the authorities decide that if the body needs to purge the heat, it must continue moving. So they build wooden stages in the public square. They hire musicians. Drums begin to pound. Pipes scream through the air. Stringed instruments scrape sharp, driving rhythms. If the body wants to dance, let it dance fully.
This is the moment everything escalates. Because now the phenomenon has legitimacy. Now it has a stage. Now it has structure. The square becomes a spectacle. Crowds gather. The sound of drums reverberates through narrow streets.
The dancers, already caught in something uncontrollable, now have rhythm amplifying their movements. More join. The music does not heal, it spreads. Imagine the scene. A blazing summer afternoon, a raised wooden platform, dozens of people thrashing in frantic motion, faces pale, eyes unfocused, feet wrapped in bloody cloth, musicians playing relentlessly, the crowd unsure whether to pray or run. And somewhere in the chaos, another body collapses. This is no longer strange. This is catastrophic. Finally, after witnessing mounting deaths, the city council admits failure. The music is stopped, the stage is dismantled, the spectacle ends. But stopping the music does not instantly stop the bodies. So the city turns fully to religion. If St. Vitus caused this, St. Vitus must cure it. The afflicted are transported to a shrine in the nearby mountains. Their feet are bandaged. They are dressed in red shoes, a ritual element associated with the saint. Priests conduct ceremonies, candles burn, prayers echo through stone halls. And slowly, very slowly, the movement begins to subside. Not dramatically, not all at once, but like a fire deprived of oxygen. The number of dancers shrinks. The streets grow quieter. Funerals stop increasing. Markets reopen. Life resumes. But Strasbourg is changed. The city survived famine, it survived plague, and now it survived something even harder to define. Centuries later, historians and scientists try to explain it. Some argue ergot poisoning, a fungus growing on rye that can produce hallucinations, spasms, even convulsions. It contains chemicals related to LSD. Maybe the bread was contaminated. Maybe the city was unknowingly drugged. But ergot also causes intense pain, severe vascular constriction, gangrene, weakness. It doesn't typically produce sustained, coordinated movement for days on end. The explanation feels incomplete. So modern researchers turn toward psychology, mass psychogenic illness, collective hysteria. When extreme stress grips an entire community, the mind can manifest symptoms physically. When belief systems provide a script, like the curse of St. Vitus, the body can follow it. Not consciously, not intentionally, but powerfully. Strasbourg in 1518 was the perfect storm. Years of famine, economic instability, disease trauma, religious anxiety, a population already living in survival mode. All it took was one trigger, Frau Trophäa. But here's the chilling truth. She may not have started anything intentionally. She may have been the first visible crack in a structure already collapsing, and once the first crack appears, others follow. Even today we see echoes of this phenomenon. The 1962 laughter epidemic in Tanzania, where hundreds of students began laughing uncontrollably, schools reporting waves of fainting without physical cause, communities experiencing shared symptoms triggered by fear. The human brain is social, deeply social. We regulate ourselves through others. We mirror, we synchronize, we absorb, and under enough pressure, we break together. But what makes 1518 unforgettable is not just the psychology, it's the imagery. Hundreds of medieval citizens dancing against their will in a public square, collapsing, dying under a merciless summer sun. And at the center of it all, a woman history barely remembers. What happened to Frau Trophäa? Did she survive? Did she wake up one day exhausted beyond comprehension and finally stop? Did she remember the movement? Or did it feel like a dream she couldn't control? No record tells us. She appears in documents, then disappears. The square remains. So let's close this story where it began. Strasbourg, autumn. The air cool now, leaves drifting across the same stones once stained with blood. No drums, no frantic movement,
Merchants call out prices. Children chase each other between stalls. The Rhine flows calmly beside the city walls. If you walked through that square at dawn, you would see nothing unusual. But if you stopped, if you stood still, if you listened carefully, you might almost hear it. The echo of pounding feet, the rhythm of collective fear, the sound of a city that once danced itself to death. The dancing plague of 1518 wasn't just a medical mystery. It wasn't just a medieval curiosity. It was a warning that human beings are fragile under sustained pressure, that belief can override biology, that fear can move muscles, and that sometimes a single body stepping into motion can pull an entire city with it. Strasbourg survived, but that summer never truly ended. It lives in the archives, in the theories, in the unanswered questions, and in the chilling possibility that under the right conditions, we might not be so different. Because history doesn't always repeat itself loudly. Sometimes it begins quietly, with one woman in one street under one blazing sun, and a single step that never stops.